This podcast is brought to you by Contessa Digital.
On a dirty little secret. Even the happily married women that I know, a lot of them wish that they had done their single season a little bit differently. So today I wanted to give you 5 tips on how to make the most out of your single season as you wait for the right relationship to come along. So welcome to Confidently Cherished. My name is Keisha Rice. I am a dating coach and hypnotherapist. I help ambitious women learn how to heal their unhealthy relationship patterns so that they can both attract and maintain healthy relationships. And again, we're talking about 5 ways to make the most of your single season. So number 1 is to change your environment. I talk about this all the time. You are the people that you spend the most time with. You are what you surround yourself with. You know, when I work with women one-on-one in my coaching program, which is also called Confidently Cherish, when I work with women in Confidently Cherish, one of the first things that we do is assess their environment. So I am all about helping women uncover the patterns in their lives that lead to struggle of, that lead to unhealthy relationships, because all relationships are related. If you show me a woman who is struggling in her romantic relationships, then some of those same issues also present in her relationships with her family, with her friends, in her career. So oftentimes things like an inability to set boundaries, you know, that translates among all relationships and leads to struggle of in all of your relationships. So we have to assess those patterns first. And part of that is assessing the type of people that she is spending time around. So it is so important that in your single season, you are doing everything that you can to create a healthy environment for yourself. This means cutting some people off. In other cases, if you're not cutting the person off, it means limiting your contact, or it means not allowing certain discussions to happen. You know, when I was single, there were people in my life that said so many negative things about dating and love and relationships. And I got to a point where that was just a boundary of mine that I no longer tolerated that. So we could talk about other things. We could talk about movies we'd watched, TV shows we had seen. We could talk about money. We could talk about career. We could talk about getting healthier. But I was not going to talk with that person about my love life or my feelings and thoughts on relationships, period. So you really need to level up your environment as far as who you're spending time with, what type of conversations you're having. And again, I say this all the time, that includes your social media environment as well. You cannot go around saying that you want true love, you want real love, and you're constantly following accounts talking about how men are trash, right? So the second thing that you need to do is to seek wise counsel. So this goes along with leveling up your environment. If you are looking to be in a happy, healthy, loving relationship, then you need to be around people who have that. You need to be able to get that advice, get that wisdom, learn from other people's mistakes. My mom was always big on telling me growing up that I did not have to make mistakes myself to learn the lesson, that I could learn from other people. So you want to get around women who are happily married, who can share with you the things that they did to level up their lives, who can talk to you about what they do now to maintain a healthy relationship. And if you don't have that in your real life, then you need to get that in your virtual life, right? You need to follow social media accounts from women who are happily married. You need to get advice from a therapist, from a dating coach, a relationship coach, like myself. You need to, find people online who have the life that you want and start following them, seeing what the common denominators are in their lives. This applies to not just romantic relationships, but also your relationship with money, your relationship with health as well. Take advice from people who have the life that you want to lead. Number 3 is for you to get a life. So again, in my Confidently Cherished one-on-one program, this is also something that I really hit hard with my one-on-one clients. And that is, in order to be an interesting prospect, in the dating scene, you have to be an interesting person. And for you to do that, that means putting yourself out there and living a fun and interesting life. That means getting a hobby, finding new things to do, being naturally curious about other people and getting to know other people. One of the things that I did when I was single was starting to travel solo places. And even as a married woman, I still travel solo. But I noticed that it made me a more interesting person on dates. I had more things to talk about. I had, great stories that were entertaining. But also, it made the transition into getting married easier. Because the fact is, at the end of the day, married life is different, right? And you will have less time to do some of the things that, you were doing when you were single, because that's the nature of marriage. You're in a partnership. Of course, you're going to spend time with your partner, and you're going to make that a priority. So getting a life, doing things that are fun and adventurous and exciting, it's not to say that you won't have fun and adventurous and exciting moments when you're married. But again, a lot of married women that I talk to say that they wish that while they were by themselves, they had taken more opportunities to just do more things, experience more things before they entered, the married season of their life. Number 4 kind of goes along with this. Actually, these all play off each other. But number 4 is to learn how to be alone without being lonely. So again, I mentioned solo travel to you. I also, when I was single, started going to restaurants by myself, started going to the movies by myself. I learned how to enjoy my time by myself. And some of that time was at home as well. I learned to journal more. I learned to, have an at-home spa day in addition to going to the spa. But especially going out by myself, it made me so much more confident and discerning in dating, because honestly, men would ask me out, and if their idea of a fun date was not as interesting as what I could do for myself, I would just politely turn them down and be like, no, honestly, I'd rather just spend the time with myself. So it caused me to raise my standards. And because I was okay with being alone and I didn't feel lonely, it also made me not in a rush to settle, right? So I was willing to wait for a partner who could truly add to my life before getting married. And the 5th thing that I would like you to do to make the most of your single season is to be selfish, especially when it comes to your personal development. So like I said earlier, a natural part of being in your married season is that you're going to have a little less time for yourself, because if you value your marriage, if you value your relationship, then you are going to make it a priority to spend time, with your spouse. And of course, you're not going to mind that if you're in a healthy relationship with someone who you truly love and someone who loves you, because you're going to have great times together. At the same time, with these great times comes some compromise. It comes some, being able to downgrade your other priorities a little bit in order to make time for this person. So this is the time where you absolutely want to be selfish while you're single. Do all the things that make you happy, all the things that you like to do, without having to worry about budgeting time to make sure that both your interest and your partner's interests are acknowledged. This is also the time to be really selfish with your self-development. On one hand, I do not believe that we are meant to be alone in this world. Relationships are the greatest form of self-development that there is. You grow so much through other people, by the way that you interact with them, by how you communicate, by how you allow or don't allow yourself to be triggered, by seeing how other people see you, being able to see yourself through another person's eyes. So relationships are a great form of self-growth and self-development. At the same time, again, when you are in a relationship, you have a little bit less time for yourself. So if you have goals in your life, if there are ways in which you would want to change yourself, be better, break some generational curses that are in your family, this is the time to spend all the time in therapy, to spend all the time with a coach, to go to hypnotherapy and, really dive deep into those unhealthy patterns. This is the time to really read the books, listen to the podcasts, do all of the things that are going to help you grow, become wiser, become smarter, and become a little bit more discerning in your life, because you have more time to do it. And yes, it will also make you a better partner because you've really been doing the work on yourself. Again, for me, it also raised my standards because I was like, if I can do all this work on myself, then I know I deserve a partner who is also actively working on himself, right? And I know that that is possible because I made it a priority, so other people can make it a priority as well. But you really want to take this time in your single season to understand that being single for whatever period of time it is not some type of punishment. It is not some type of unfairness. It is not a curse. Your single season is a time in your life where you have so many opportunities to enhance your life, to level up, to, do all sorts of things that you might not necessarily have the opportunity to do when you are in that relationship that you want. I truly believe that to everything there is a season, and we do ourselves a disservice when we don't take full advantage of whatever season we're in. For me, I am out of my single season. I am now in my married season, but my husband and I don't yet have kids. So, there is going to be a season where I become a mom, and I'm looking forward to that and all the things that come with that season. But in my current season of married with no kids, there are so many advantages to this season as well, and I want to enjoy them to the fullest. So let me know, what are you doing to make the most out of your single season? Send me a message. I am on social media. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Keisha Rice, KESHIARICE. And I am looking forward to hearing from you and seeing how you're making this time of your life great. Love you. Hey there. So you made it all the way to the end of the episode, which means I have two things to say. One, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And two, you like me. You really like me. So I would appreciate it if you would show that like by subscribing to this podcast so that more people can hear about it and enjoy it as much as you do. And if you want to know more about any of the links that I mentioned on this episode or any guests that I've had, be sure to go to KeishaRice.com/links. That's KeishaRice.com/links. I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode. So see you then.